right, this week on The Mandalorian, Chapter 12, The Siege. Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Daddy, go back to work.
I am working. Go back to school, you little potlegger. Man, technology these days, eh? You know, iPhone, they instead of an incremental upgrade, they actually got new features.
That is, I have so many questions, but they're borderline inappropriate.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's considered child labor.
Yeah, well,
But I mean, I guess if anything, we've learned a child can be 50. So,
yes.
on that note, Baby Yoda, yeah, he gets his wires crossed.
A friend gets thawed,
Navarro has a meltdown.
and Baby Yoda goes for a roller coaster ride. All right, Ged.
So,
I think, well, going into this, I think you and me both thought this episode was going to scream filler. You know, it seemed, oh, I got to go get my ship fixed. Careful not to be too spoilery here, but we know his ship was in rough shape.
it's a pile.
Yeah, so...
It reminds me of an old Ford Tempo that a friend of mine used to drive to high school.
It's America's all-new aerodynamic sedan.
Literally when he lands, you could see like 7 different types of like, what do you want to call it, armor, exterior panels hanging off it. But yeah, this episode actually pushes the narrative quite far forward, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it definitely did not take the direction I thought it was going to. We had a really good filler episode earlier, which did obviously lead to something. But this one I thought was going to be that kind of quiet before the storm again.
Yeah.
But they did a great job of dumping in some Easter eggs. Again, obviously we're not going to quite get into it yet. Very cool action, some really cool tributes to old fandom. There's a really cool tribute to Rebels, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. And what they've done with cinematography, obviously we say this every episode, there's no budget to be spared, but what they do with cinematography and the way they're bringing this to life is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we talk about every episode, but every shot, like there's so many cool shots that they get going in here, and the action sequences, again, every episode is like bringing something new, and everything is jam-packed with action.
Yeah,
Like,
even the
it's-
filler episodes, quote unquote.
Yeah, Star Wars fans, there's nothing to be disappointed at all in any of these shows.
Yeah.
Even regular fans, man, like this is like, a lot of these episodes are wall-to-wall action, and it's great. And the amount of, like, to your point, Easter eggs and like lore they're just, you know, putting in there, not jamming in your face, but it's there if you're looking, right? So
Yep.
definitely cool. So without further ado, let's get into spoilers.
Spoiler time.
Okay, so spoilers. So
Spoilers.
this episode really pushed what Moff Gideon's plan actually is,
Okay,
or at
whoa,
least
whoa.
we think.
Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
At the end, when the officer walks in, he's almost like he's trying to dress up as Darth Vader for Halloween. The black cape. He's
Yeah.
got the cheesy ass buttons on the front.
Yeah.
He's basically the fast version of the old Vader
The slow,
outfit.
dramatic turn and reveal. Like,
Yeah.
So let's talk about again. We learned episode-wise, Mando obviously has to fix his ship. Then while he's waiting, got to do a job for, you know, Cara Dune and Greef Karga.
Always, because that's what
Yeah.
happens in every video game.
And they're trying to eliminate the remaining Imperial presence on Navarro, which they think is, you know, a forward operating base with a skeleton crew. They get there, it's a fully operational base.
It's a lab.
Actually a lab.
Yeah.
And we get a hologram recording from the scientist or the doctor. What do you want? What do you think he
The
is?
doctor from really in season 1,
Yeah.
right?
To Moff Gideon, and he's basically, there's subjects in, I don't know if it's Bacta or some sort of liquid. They look pretty messed up.
They
right?
look exactly like, if you've seen the Winter Soldier in
Yeah.
the Marvel MCU, it's basically the same scene.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
sub in Snoke's body from Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they look kind of mangled, and the recording is more or less, we've tried to infuse the subjects with the blood, and it's been a catastrophic failure, and the blood they have has the highest M count,
The reading is off the chart.
which we're assuming is obviously
Midichlorian.
midichlorian count, and that the donor, you know, they were only able to extract a small amount because of his size. He's small without killing him, so they've exhausted their blood sample, and they haven't really got any farther in the project. And then flash forward to the end, And it appears Moff Gideon is, well, what we thought anyways, looking at soldiers kind of all up in their own pods and walls. They kind of look like, well, it's black armor, but they're not Death Trooper. It wasn't Death Trooper armor, right?
I don't think so, no.
When I first saw it, I don't know, people who've played Dark Forces before, the Dark Trooper program, that's what it kind of looked like to me.
Yep.
That was the vibes I was getting, and it looks like that's the program Gideon's working on, and so it looks like, I guess they're speculating, is he might be wanting this blood to perfect some sort of, I don't know, serum for the soldiers.
Like a super soldier.
Yeah, so he's going to be making some sort of strong super soldiers. And he's got them all lined up in his little research lab. He's flying one of those Imperial Light cruisers, like the little mini Star Destroyer. I can't think of the exact name right now, but that was kind of cool to see it on screen.
Loved the troopers in the chase scene on the riders with
The Scout Troopers.
Yeah, the Scout Troopers.
Yeah, those speeder bikes flying down the cliff was definitely some cool shots. And even had the two like crash too, like showing how treacherous it was.
Yep.
Cool shot. And I don't know what it is. Like we did an episode of Hot Takes that hasn't come out yet, where we talked about our favorite ships.
Yeah.
There's something about when you put a TIE fighter on screen and do it right, when you hear the howl of it flying, and when you're getting the in-cockpit look and you see the TIE pilot all done up, and then you see all the controls in from his cockpit, and then the sound of the TIE lasers, just something about that is just
the sound of the TIE fighter in general is has to be amongst the top of iconic sounds in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, so seeing those things whip through that canyon, doing the chase scene was definitely pretty cool to see. And then we even get a little bit of, well, I guess I was a little surprised to see the Razor Crest fixed in top condition that fast. That was the only thing I was.
Yeah.
I even looked at you. I'm like, we're like, who's gonna save them? And you said X-wings.
I thought X-wings. Yeah.
And I thought it can't be the Razor Crest. It still needs to be fixed.
I thought we were gonna see Kim's Convenience show up again.
Yeah.
And
so it was the Razor Crest, but then literally a couple minutes later we see Kim's Convenience and Trapper Wolf's X-wings sitting in the port. So it easily could have been them, which I felt would have made more sense.
Yeah, this is the first episode where I noticed a couple things that didn't fit. Number one was the timing of the Razor Crest being fixed. Like, it looked good, considering it looked like he had dropped it off 3 hours beforehand. Yeah. Can't even get an oil change done on my Mini that quick. The other thing I noticed was, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, the guy who is no longer in Carbonite.
Oh, yeah.
He magically has a gun.
Mythwar.
After he goes into the after he jumps in the elevator, he goes from not having a gun to instantly having a gun. And I don't know if Cara Dune or anyone else is carrying a second piece. Yeah. That was really the first time I thought, wait a minute, that wasn't there before.
Yeah. Maybe dead body scooped it or something.
Oh, yeah, fair. Yeah. I guess they just didn't show.
But yeah, he had one pretty quick after the elevator.
He did.
Idea.
Yeah, it was kind of go gadget-ish.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think. The other thing, there's definitely a little bit of New Hope vibes from the whole walking around treacherously the outside of the reactor, powering it down, to even the turret firing on I can't even think of what they called it, but it was seen in Rebels, like that troop carrier thing, right?
Yeah.
So using the turret on that gave obviously some Falcon vibes in the Death Star
100%
escape scene.
There they are. Blast them.
It's them. Blast them.
So it's kind of cool, neat hat tip there.
Yeah, it was one of those episodes that was packed full of stuff. It wasn't like last where we were jumping all over the place because of Bo-Katan and these hair-raising moments. It's not that it was a bad episode; it was incredible. It just felt like they packed a ton of stuff to pave the way for the next 2 or 3. You mentioned that Filoni is directing the next 2?
Filoni's written and directed the next one,
which means the next one is going to be
it's our Ahsoka episode.
Yeah.
So the other key plot device moving forward is obviously one of the people working on Mando's ship was a spy for Gideon, has planted a tracking device, and at the end they confirm that Mando has the child and the tracking device is working. So, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the future. Do they meet up with Mando when he gets to Ahsoka? Do they, intervene somewhere on his trip? Or do they come upon him in episode, like the last episode or 2 of the season, and that's your climax? I personally think Moff Gideon's gonna get his hands on somebody.
I
on
think
a Force-sensitive sample, so to speak. So.
really, eh? See, I think you're gonna see them travel to where Ahsoka is. I think that Moff Gideon is going to intercept them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you're going to see your first glimpse of Ahsoka. You might even see Bo-Katan and the crew show back up.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a very brief piece of confrontation.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be like a splitting of ways. And then the next 3 episodes are really going to be about Bo-Katan wanting to get back, challenge Moff Gideon, get the Darksaber back. My hope, and there's a lot of naive hope here, is that the reason why I want that to happen is because we're going to get 3 episodes, hopefully, of an Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, like all the pieces are in play for if Moff Gideon intercepts the Razor Crest, gets the child somehow. The Mando can go to Ahsoka. Listen, there's a Force child out there. We got to save it. They can go back to Bo-Katan. Ahsoka can, anyways, with their relationship. You know, we got to stop Moff Gideon. She wants the Darksaber. She's in. So kind of all these, and Cara Dune, obviously, there's a little sentimental piece there at the end. Talking about her former days in rebellion and losing everyone in Alderaan. So her Empire hate is so strong that obviously if they came with them, we got to stop Gideon. She's in. So all these pieces have kind of been set up to come together once again, kind of like last season.
Yep.
You know, a final team up to do something against Gideon.
Yeah.
So.
And I loved, you know, we've been alluding to the transition of Mando from being this heartless bounty hunter to really adopting the child as his own.
Yeah.
And even at the end when the child spits up a little bit after going on the big, you know, the big fight in the sky, you can see him like lean back and like wipe the baby up. Like it's, I hate to say it, but it's actually super adorable.
Yeah. All right. So I think that wraps it up for the review for this week.
Yeah. The next one, I am not going to be around. I am away. So perhaps there will be a possibility that we'll do this. It'll just look a little bit different because we won't be in the same area.
Yeah.
That's of course if you have me.
Yeah, of course.
I might be able to chime in from somewhere in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely looking forward to see that.
All right, so until next time, Tyler from Rogue Leader. Smash the subscribe, hit a like. We pleaded last time that we're wonderful people and you should like us. So thank you to everyone who's been watching. This is Ged for Fabulous Flicks. And until then, we should have a cheesy sign off. Like, should we drop the May the Force be with you? That's just super lame.
That's kinda...
Now, well, then be good and behave.
Yeah, see ya.